welcome to another episode of Big Ego Media. Got a special guest, goes by the name of Adrian Clifton. How you doing today, bro?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Thanks for inviting me.
We go way back, way back. I'm talking at what? 2023 now. 16 years ago.
Yeah, long time.
Back in 2007. But before we get there, how we know each other, let's get your story. Like, what's your family background? Where did you grow up?
I'm from Hackney. Born in a hospital. Raised by a single mother. 3 kids. 3 different dads. You know, in a poor neighborhood, Hackney. It's nice now, but when I was growing up, it wasn't. You know, faced the typical challenges of what a young male, not even just black, a young male faces in London and in the city, living on an estate. So like had that that typical, you know, disadvantaged background, getting involved in the street, all that sort of stuff.
I mean, you said you had 3 siblings. Was you the oldest, youngest, middle?
So my brother's the oldest, but we're like 15 months apart.
Okay. And
I got a younger sister. She's 3 years younger than me.
Okay. And growing up, what was the ambition from young? What did you want to be?
What did I want to be? I wanted to be a footballer.
Yeah.
Like every young boy in the ends wanted to be. Luckily enough, I was actually quite good at football.
Yeah.
I didn't know how good I was till about 11.
Yeah.
Started being like, I knew I was good, but I didn't know how good I was until I started getting it, playing for teams. And my first club was Hackney District. Played for them. Then I got scouted by Arsenal at 10, 11.
Yeah.
Then time for Arsenal. Then that's when I sort of realised that I was actually good at football.
I mean, before we get into kind of signing for Arsenal, just looking at that sort of family background kind of thing. Yeah. So you said obviously your mum had 3 children. You said your father. So did it play a part at all? Was he not around, or did you see him?
No, I don't. I was the only one out of the 3 of us that don't know his dad, and they had their dads was in their life. I still don't even know who my dad is.
Yeah. How does that affect you then? How did it affect you then, and how does it affect you now?
Back then, it had a massive effect on me because I used to see my sister and my brother like have relationships with their dads. My brother's not so good. My sister's good. And you know, as a young boy, that's all you want, innit? You want a dad. And I'm trying to think how it affected me. It was massive. Yeah, me and my brother used to have a lot of fights over it. Oh, you ain't got a dad, you know, that little stuff like that, as you do as siblings. I had no one to control me, really. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, people say, like, come Father's Day, I see people post up Happy Father's Day to my mum. Like, that winds me up. Yeah. Because your mum ain't your dad. Your mum could never be your dad. I big up the single parents that raise their kids, but a woman cannot replace a man. Just like a man can't replace a woman. So, yeah, it affected me a lot because it made me angry. It made me angry. Obviously, my mum's got 3 kids. It was tough for her, you know, coming from a poor background and whatnot. So, yeah, it definitely affected me.
Did you ever have that tough conversation with her to say, okay, who is my father? What's going on?
Yeah, tried young. Got always met with like she didn't want to talk about it basically until I think when I come out of prison at about 20, I was 21, and like this was when I wanted to get over my past and what I'd been through, and we had a conversation. She told me, but the realness is like there's only so much she knows about him. Okay. You get what I'm saying? So there was only so much she could tell me. But yeah, that conversation was a good one because it was about accepting the situation, wanting to move on from it, and have an honest conversation as adults, basically. Yeah. And yeah, I guess it was good for my mum to have that because it couldn't have been an easy conversation for her as well. Yeah. You know what I mean? So yeah, we crossed that bridge and we're in a better place from that.
Yeah. So I mean, growing up in Hackney, how was it? What did you know the surrounding you was in? Did you see it as a dangerous place?
Nah, so it's all I knew. So It's like anything. If it's all you're used to, it's normal, isn't it? Hackney, when I was younger, it wasn't dangerous. It wasn't dangerous like that. It was a good community. Everyone was together, like all estates. Everyone knew each other. I think like 2 generations before me, they were all together as one. Like the whole of Hackney was one place, and then it just started breaking off into its fractions. And I was growing up in that era where seeing we had a gang called Rowdy Bunch. If you're from Hackney, you'd know of Rowdy Bunch. So I grew up underneath, like seeing them lot out on the street doing the word of madness, and that was normal. It seemed fun. You know what I mean? And then after them, we had Junior Rowdy, and they're quite well known in Hackney, and I come out under seeing them as well as playing football but doing bare badness. You know what I'm saying?
Let's talk through that. First, school. How was you school academically? Did you struggle? Did you need extra help? Was you good, average?
School. I was very clever in school. Unfortunately, school didn't work for me in the sense of a controlled environment. Like I'm a practical learner. Everything I do is practical. Like I'm not a visual learner. So like it's even like now I struggle to read books because just sitting there reading a book doesn't make sense to me. I need to move. And in school, sitting in a classroom just listening to a teacher talk just never made sense to me, and not having no active learning. But academically I was good. I finished school with 7 GCSEs. I got an A as well, and a lot of C's. And it was good. School was good. I enjoyed school. School was like a break from my reality, which was in Hackney. So I was 2 different people. In school I was my true self, and then at home I was the person. I adapted to my environment, sort of thing. So I had the shield. I was walking around with a shield up. You know what I mean? So I had to survive, sort of thing.
So you signed for Arsenal at the time. Did you know the significance of, you know what? Because as you said, every young person, their whole ambitions and dream is that they want to play football professionally.
Yeah.
You are now signed by Arsenal at the time. Arsenal, one of the top teams. They're coming back now, but one of the top teams in the UK at the time. Did you know the significance? Right, I'm at Arsenal.
Nah, had no clue. I never knew that where I was playing, I could potentially go on to play for Arsenal and play in the Premier League and play on the TV what I was watching on Match of the Day back then. I didn't know that. So, I didn't see it as that. Like I said, it was just something I was used to. No one I knew was doing stuff like this. I'd never been in this environment before. I never even used to think about them things.
Was there anyone from that Arsenal team that you kind of remember? How long was you at Arsenal for? Let's start with that. How long was you there for?
I was there for 5 years.
5 years?
4 or 5 years, yeah.
So that's significant, from like 11 to about 16, 15.
Yeah. I got released before YTS, before you get your scholar.
Yeah. At that point, because a lot of, we talk now about how difficult it is to become a footballer now. You almost have to be, and these kids are kind of sold a dream. You're at the academy, you think you have made it, but then when you get released, you've got nothing to fall back to. How difficult was that when you kind of got released?
Oh yeah, very difficult. Because Arsenal was all I knew. I used to travel to Arsenal as a 10-year-old on my own. It kept me off the street. It kept me doing something I loved. I loved football. I didn't know then how much I loved football. I knew I loved football, but I didn't know it defined me. And it brought the best out in me. Yeah. And so when I got released from Arsenal, it was like that rejection. You know, I couldn't see past Arsenal. Like them times there, I didn't even know what the Championship was, because I never had sports channels and all that. Yeah. So if it didn't come on Match of the Day, I didn't even know. So it was like I couldn't see past Arsenal. It was Arsenal or no one. Like if I'm not playing for Arsenal, I don't want to play football type of thing. Yeah. And like I said, like back then there was no one really. It's how common it is now for mandem from the ends to be in a football club. It wasn't like that then. Do you know what I'm saying? I was the only one I knew that was that was at a big club like that. Yeah. So getting released from them definitely left me exposed to the lifestyle that I wouldn't say I was living. Well, I was living it. I was involved in it. So it just left me to the street basically. Yeah. which was unfortunate because I was really good then as well. And when I got released, I had quite a few clubs that wanted to sign me. Like I had Chelsea, Tottenham, West Ham, Norwich. I actually went to West Ham. A coach that was at Arsenal brought me to West Ham. I was playing there. When I got there, I thought I was better than everyone else. I just thought, yeah, sign me, boom. But I had to come back in the summer. But you see, when you're at this age, you don't know what all this is like. I didn't like the break and all that. He didn't quite understand the summer break and all that. So what he done is he gave me a job. Being a labourer in his company, so aside from football, to keep me off the street sort of thing. And he was paying me. It was like my first taste of work. Yeah. And I was working with a guy, and he misplaced his phone, and he thought I stole his phone. Yeah. And so he accused me of stealing his phone. And I remember growing up, anything went wrong in my house, I always got accused. Yeah. Even if it weren't me. And more time it weren't me. Yeah. Yeah. I'd be lying if I said sometimes it wasn't, but more time it weren't. Anything that went wrong was my fault, sort of thing. So then when that guy accused me of that, I lost it. Me and him had a little madness. It's just because I was already shotting by then. Yeah. By the time I got released from Arsenal, I was already shotting. So I had a little change as a young man. And stealing phones was like a primary school thing. Do you know what I mean? So I eventually fell out with that guy. The guy that brought me to West Ham, he was like, he said to me, don't come back into work, don't worry about that. Just focus on the football sort of thing. But I felt like he believed him over me. And that's why he's telling me not to come back. So from there, our relationship was broken. I never spoke to him again. He kept ringing me, come back to West Ham, kept ringing me, but I wouldn't go. Yeah. I was just like, fuck you, sort of thing. And then, so then I was on the road for a bit, getting deeper and deeper into what I was getting into. And then I got an opportunity. I remember I played, one of my teachers at school was like, what's going on with you? How come you're not playing football? You're too good to not play football. Yeah. And by this time I was smoking weed, just going on the downward spiral. And he said, come and play a match for Broadwater Farm. And I went down to Broadwater Farm, played the game, and an agent see me and was like, nah, like, basically I'm taking you out, I want to sign you, I want to get you to a club. I went on trial at Norwich, played one game there. Norwich was a very good academy at the time. Yeah. They was in the Premier League then. And played one game there, and that was it. They wanted to sign me. Yeah. Wanted to sign me, offered me a pro, basically offered me everything. But I didn't want to move down there. Yeah. Because that's unheard of. I never heard of people going, staying in the digs, going and living in cunts, like, never before in my life. And where I was a bit apprehensive about that. They said they'll move my mum down and my family, give us a house, give us all this stuff. And I remember asking my mum, and my mum was like, no, I ain't going nowhere. So from she said that, that was more my attitude towards it. Because they then offered me a foster parent. Yeah. But I remember growing up, I used to run away from home a lot. And I always used to threaten my mum that I'm going to go call the child services and go foster parent. And she called my bluff. She used to call my bluff. Well, I didn't know that then. And be like, hey, go and take the phone, call them. So when they said foster parent, I was like, huh? Foster parent? I ain't living with a foster parent. No way. And so yeah, I missed that opportunity. I never went. I remember the agent used to call me every day, leaving voicemails. I never went. And which is a shame because I would have had a different trajectory of my career, but that's the journey, innit? Everyone has a different journey.
And funnily enough, there's the kid that I kind of recommended for you to mentor. He had the same thing where I think it's either Cambridge or Peterborough wanted to sign him, and they told him come and stay in digs, and he wouldn't go and stay in digs. He wanted to stay on the ends, and then he ended up going into prison, which we're gonna go to now, which where you end up going. I mean, what happened? The circumstance you end up going to prison.
So after that sort of Norwich, that thing that happened with Norwich, I think I'm 16 now. I've left school. I think it's like 4 months after leaving school. Like I said earlier, school was it's like another world where I can go and just be myself and just cool. once I never had that now, and I'm just in the ends now, everything intensifies. Something happened. I remember some yardie was shotting on the ends, and I remember I met Jazz and Souls the other day. I was saying that he had one bar talking about rolling up on the yardies like and flipping, sticking it on them for Peter, like make them pay to shot and all that sort of stuff. So I done it, that music influence, and basically one thing led to another. It got a bit sticky, and I ended up in prison for a shooting, and ended up in prison for a shooting, and yeah, that was the start of my prison journey. So I think that was in 2006, 2007. Yeah.
So when I met you in HMP Feltham, is that what the case was under that time?
I can't remember. You know, it was either for a shooting or possession of a firearm. One of the two. One of the two. Yeah.
So I mean, once you've been arrested and you find yourself now, jail. Feltham. I always ask people this: did you cry when you first got sent to jail?
No, I didn't cry. Would I say I was close? No, I was definitely scared though. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared, but this is the thing that I started to believe this is who I was. And obviously I had friends that had been in prison before me, olders and my age, and have heard about it. Do you get what I'm saying? So like, I've always used to be in an industry full of, like, somewhere full of men. So football, you're only around men.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was scared 100%, but I felt like I was ready at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I remember going from court. I never knew how easy was it to go to prison, how easy it was to go to prison. I didn't know until that time. And someone can accuse you of something, and that's it. You're straight in jail. And I remember that from Bow Magistrates Court to Feltham on the sweatbox. That's the worst thing about it. The sweatbox it's not nice. And then I remember pulling up in Feltham, coming in there, and they give you that little starter pack. You can choose a starter pack, get a little Robinsons. I can't drink Robinsons drink now, dilute drink, because as soon as I taste it reminds me of prison. And like using Radox and all that. Like no, I can't use it. No way. And yeah, I remember that first night. I remember coming out on the wing the first day, bare energy, you know, like you want trouble, like almost. You want to prove yourself, like all that sort of stuff. I remember coming out and having breakfast, and I sat there, and there was everyone's new, so everyone's sort of like testing the waters, sort of thing, and then man are like, where you from, that sort of stuff. What you in for? Yeah, man's in there for a shooting still. Yeah. Then next man's like, I'm in there for food. I'm in there for this or stabbing, and then boom, one he was like, yeah, I'm in there for M, and I was like, huh? Like, and you're like, raw, like now I'm in this environment, murders, shotters, drug like murder, bare violence, bare man on the table was in for violence. It almost seemed like my shooting weren't so great, that sort of thing, because at least 3 people said I'm in for murder, and then you sort of like, you're in this world now, and you start to adjust, and you start to. I remember getting moved off that wing. Where did I go to? I went to Heron Wing, I think, and I think my first experience in Feltham was. I hate to say it, but it was a good one in terms of prison. It's never good to go to prison. It's long, but I had an okay time. Like Feltham, it is prison. You're locked up, but it's not like adult prison.
I mean, I always found. I mean, when I hear stories of Feltham now, I hear how violent these youths are, but I never really found Feltham to be that violent when we were there.
Do you know what? This is the difference. In the difference. I think when I was there, no, there weren't a lot of fights. There weren't many. There weren't many. But I remember there was a wave of, we had an influx of Peckham when all the murders started happening in Peckham, that wave. And the prison changed. So a lot of people with beef, and that was it. It started kicking off, sort of thing. That come later towards my Feltham career. But in Feltham, the violence ain't mad because you can see everyone, innit? So like a fight only lasts for 30 seconds, a minute. Like you get to punch one, and the other get punched, and then you grapple, and then the fight's over, sort of thing. I only see violence when I went Portland.
Okay, I mean, just touching on that quickly. So you're now finding yourself in prison for a shooting. A few months back, or a year before, you was offered to go and stay at Diggs at Norwich. And the family turned it down. Do you think your mum ever recognised the significance of turning? Do you think she understood what it was? And did you ever hold any resentment?
Right, so, yeah, she definitely didn't understand what it was. Because I forgot to mention this, actually. My last year at Arsenal, I actually got called up for England.
Yeah.
I got called up for England under 15s, and I was down at Lillishore training with a lot of players now that are playing, that had a Premier League career and whatnot. And I never understood it. My mum wasn't part of my football journey. I went football on my own. Like, whenever I had to sign a contract, I used to bring it home. She signed and I had to go. Like, she wasn't involved in it. Did I hold resentment? Of course. And you know, like, when you're young, as a person, people are always looking for someone else to blame.
Yeah.
Naturally, it's like almost a natural thing until you learn to not do that and try and see what your role in what happened. And I think that's sort of when I mentioned earlier about the conversation of coming out of prison, having a conversation about my dad. I had a conversation about football as well. And it was something I wanted to move on from because I felt like it was holding me back. A lot of anger was the reason why I was in prison. Do you know what I'm saying? Because when I look back at it now, it was never really me.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm too clever to be doing all that.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? And like that sort of lash for people that make bad decisions. And yeah, definitely held resentment, but it's definitely something we overcome in our relationship.
I mean, at the time, did you get sentenced for that case?
No, so I a bus case. Yeah, I meant that to say.
Yeah.
It wasn't me anyway. Bus case, but the problem with that is when I come out, I now think I'm that guy. I think I'm that guy. So now I've got a gun. I'm rolling with a gun every day. I'm that guy. I want to be the shooter in the ends, like, yeah, been jail, bust, all that sort of rubbish. And I was back in prison 3 months later.
Possession of firearm again.
Possession of a firearm. Got caught with it. Because I just thought I was that guy, innit? I thought I was that guy now. Now, you know, when you come out of prison, like, when you're in prison, everyone's writing you, everyone's feeling you, come out, that too. You know, like now I see a lot of guys busting their shamps and picking them up in big weight and all that. And it's like, rah, boy, you're going to be back in. When I see that, I'm like, right, you're on your way back in. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like now, when I work with young people now, I always say, like, I go and do talks in prisons and that, and I always say to them, the worst mistake you can make is coming out of prison on that first day you come back out. You've been in jail for however long. Start drinking alcohol and start smoking weed. I'm like, that's your first step back to going back in there, because that's no different to what you was doing before you was out. So like, you need to try, because when you've been in prison, when you're in jail and you ain't got all these distractions, you think different. No alcohol, no weed. You just think so different. And man, they be told that they convince themselves that they believe it so strongly. When they come out, they're gonna change. Boom, boom, boom. But as soon as you start with the weed and alcohol again, you're just like that. You know what I mean? So that I always advise people not to do that.
So then for that, what did you get sentence wise?
I got 3 years. So I got the minimum sentence. The reason I got the minimum sentence for I was 17 at the time. Yeah. The reason I got the minimum sentence is because I put forward a case that, you know, like a character reference. So where I had been at Arsenal, where I'd been at West Ham, the Norwich thing, and the one that helped me the most was England. Yeah. So the judge was like, and I said that I fell into the wrong crowd. I was sort of holding it for someone, all that sort of stuff. And they gave me gave me leniency, because what the judge said is like, this ain't really you. Yeah. So when they see that I had the GCSEs as well, they say, you know what, you fell in the wrong crowd. We're going to give you a chance, sort of thing. So they gave me the minimum sentence, which was, so I got 3 years, done 18 months, come out, was out again. But by this point, I was like, I'm done with gang stuff. Gang stuff keeps putting me in prison. I'm just on the money now. I'm on the money. I'm on the money. By this time, I had stopped playing football. Like, I used to play football in prison at Feltham, playing the Feltham teams and that. Won a few cups and that.
I was the best baller in there.
No one else was in there. It's me. I used to remember in my team, I had me and Merckx, you know Merckx?
Yeah,
Merckx was good. Me and him was up top. We had a good little partnership.
Young Marv as well.
Yeah, Marv was good at football. He was very good at football. Yeah, he was good at football. He was good at football. And then Feltham, what did I do? Yeah, Feltham, come out of Feltham. I went to Portland. I remember that was a rough time for me. That was a tough time in jail. I remember going on a wing and getting rushed the first day I got on a wing.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. Was it beef?
No, like there weren't no beef. I think I must have come on the wing. I had some weed, and you know when you come bearing gifts, you're trying to get rid of man and whatnot. Boom. I remember. So some beauty on the wing, and I must have called him ugly. I was like, "This big ugly," and he didn't like that. Yeah. So then he gathered up his bedrooms, and then the man like asked me to come into the shower. But at the time, I've never been asked to come to the shower. I thought man actually wanted to talk to me. Do you know what I'm saying? And then I come to the shower, bam, 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 shake him. I'm like, what's going on? I had to cut out. And Portland's not like Feltham. Like you can get done in, and you ain't get found till it's lock-up time, sort of thing. So so that was the first experience of being on that side of things. And then, so after coming out of Portland,
before you skip Portland, Portland's where you done the Ian Wright show.
Yeah, so I come out of Portland. I was only in Portland for like 3 months that time. It was the end of my sentence. Okay. I got shipped out of Feltham because they said I tried to escape. I tried to escape from Feltham. There was a family visit. I was a gym orderly, and I'm
trying to see if I remember getting a He-Man suit or not.
Yeah, I was in the He-Man suit, bro. I was in the He-Man suit, and I was walking around like a banana, bro. Walking around, and it was long, and so they shipped me out, and then come out of Portland. Now I'm saying to myself, I'm not even on the gang thing no more. I'm just trying to get this money. Come out, obviously was doing all that before, had certain things going on. Started going cunch. I said, let me come out of the ends. The ends is fire. A lot of beef going on and whatnot. One of my friends, lost one of my friends. It was sticky at that time. So it was like, we're going to go OT. So I remember being outside my youth club that I go in now. That I go in now and do working with these are actually kids. I remember sitting outside there and we got a map out. Me and my brethren got a map. And we're like, where are we going? We're going there. Someone's map, we're going there. We're taking over. Chose Oxford, went Oxford, started selling drugs in Oxford, got nicked. It didn't even last long. Like I was there for a month, but what I was doing was too eager, way too eager. I had another account for somewhere else, and man was too eager, just trying to get it going early. But man was in the town centre doing dumb shit, so ended up getting nicked for better. Because it actually turned out, it worked out very well for me. I think I needed another sentence to start my journey away from what I was doing. And I ended up I was in Reading, and then I remember Reading was a calm jail. Like, there's a few London men in there. We had a London landing. Like, we had it ticking over up there. But then got a bit too much influence in the jail. And like, where you're not local, if you don't know the govs and that, you got other Reading man there that they want to keep on and whatnot. So they started to get rid of us. But I remember I had a cellmate. It's the first time I had been double banged up as well. And they were shipping us to Portland, and I was like, I'm not going to Portland because it's so far. You don't get no visits. The jail shit, and I was adamant I'm not going there. So man must have barricaded our cell, but there I had an old-fashioned door which only opens inwards. So if all the cell doors now they open outwards. So if anyone barricades, they can open your door. So what we done, we put bare things behind the door, and the TV, everything filled in the gaps to match up with the bunk bed, and the bunk bed's still instilled. It's cemented in, so it ain't moving. So once you got some leverage there, that door is not getting opened there. And so like we're in there, the whole wing's going mad. They're trying to get us out of the cell. They can't get us out. Riot gear, you know, like Joe. Everyone's looking a bit hype. Everyone banging the door, making up noise. We're in there like we ain't coming out. If you come through here, like it's on, boom. Because I've heard bare stories of them refusing to go, and then it's just like not on it. You get me? And then Bro, they come with a drill, bro. Come with a drill. They're drilling the wall. Big holes in the wall to take the door off. Like, I was like, oh my God. Like, these are odd stuff. I didn't expect that. I never heard of that. No one told me about that. And they come in the cell, gas man, and was like, yeah, you're coming with us. And then by then I didn't, what do you call it? I didn't put up no resistance because what's the point? Like, we've lost this battle. They got through. Do you get what I'm saying? It's over. Boom. Put us on the sweatbox. Went to Portland. In Portland, gutted to be in Portland again. So far, and again, but Portland's like it was known for being a dangerous jail. I mean, when I was in there that first time, I remember a man backed a shank on me, and a shank. No, I was nowhere like the shank was this big. Yeah, made out of because they had glass windows on that wing, and I didn't want to go back there because I had a tough time there that time. And I was like, I'd rather not go back there. Like, that jail is long. But then obviously I was going back there. I'm a bit older now. I was a lot bigger. And because when you're 18 going into a prison with 20 up to 22-year-olds, basically, there's a big gap between 18 and an 18-year-old and a 20-year-old. It's a big difference. And when I went back there, it was calm. It was all right. It was good. Never really got into anything like that. But I feel like I come back there knowing what it was like, so I was prepared, sort of thing. And like I said, I was a lot bigger then. And I remember one day, it was in Portland, going down to the gym, see a sign on the wall saying, Ian Wright football, sport, Sky One football behind bars sort of thing. I asked the gym staff, like, what's that all about? Yeah, boom, Ian Wright's coming. I didn't think it would happen. You know, I just thought, oh yeah, whatever. Boom. 2-2, so obviously I applied. 2-2s now.
Did you do any trials for it?
Yeah, so before the trial, like we was just, they said that he's gonna come in, we don't know when, blah, blah, blah. 2-2, I heard of Joe going mad. And when everyone in the jail's going mad, you can hear it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a small environment. Looking at the window, look at the little window that opens this much. You see Ian Wright walking down there with his cameras and all that. You're like, raw. This guy's really here, sort of thing. And then that's when we started doing like the sort of trials. But I was the best in the prison at football anyway. So if it was a footballing decision, I always knew I'd be on it. Do you know what I mean? And then managed to get on it. To be fair, it was good because I had the story that they were sort of after as well, which was someone that was in football and now is in prison, sort of thing. And where I was at Arsenal, we had a connection. He played for Arsenal, sort of thing. So like on the program, we built a good relationship. It's definitely helped me with, you know, staring myself out of what I was in.
I mean, I remember I was in Rye Hill Prison, and I remember going to Rye Hill Prison at the time, and we had Sky in our cells. I don't know if they still got them at Rye Hill or not, I've been told not, but we had Sky Sports, and I remember watching Sky One, and this thing come on. I'm like, yo, that's my guy Ali and fucking Clifton, and they was watching the show religiously every single week. But from the back of that, I think they even took you guys to Feltham. Did you guys go to Feltham?
Yeah, we went to Feltham. Yeah,
I mean, that's crazy when you think about it. They're taking prisoners from another prison and transfer you just to go and play a match. I mean, the prison must have been excited.
Yeah, it was a mad thing. It was mad. It was the whole thing in general was just different because you got a camera crew there. You're at your cell all day. Like when you're supposed to be locked up, you ain't. Like other prisons, you're getting mad privilege. Do you get what I'm saying? So like it's like, you know, like football now. The TV takes over. Yeah. So that was how the program was. So the normal prison regime, it was different because of the cameras are there and they need to do their filming and stuff. And obviously they had arranged that with the governor of the prison. But it was just a real experience, but it was a good experience. And take away the
Teddy Sheringham against Teddy Sheringham.
Yeah, played against played against Steven and all that. Like it was mad. But coming away from the cameras, what was good is we done some workshops and we actually done real things that challenged us as people and helped us recognize sort of who we are. Because I got the story from the program and I was the only one that went on to become a professional footballer. But a lot of the other boys, they changed their criminal activity. They got jobs. A lot of them got businesses now. Some even got football academies. So like, it just goes to show that, people coming in, doing stuff like that is guaranteed gonna help.
I mean, let's talk about that. So you've come out of prison. You've just done this football show. How has that then helped you then to become a professional footballer?
So when I was coming out, they said to me like, Ian got me a trial at Wickham Wanderers. They was in League One at the time, and so I've left from my prison cell. I didn't go back home. I went to Wickham. I stayed in the digs there.
Wow.
And then it was surreal because it was a bit mad because, you know, like digs, now I'm in digs now. Now I'm in digs. Before, I would cry about going to the digs. Like, I was scared, you get what I'm saying? And then now I'm in digs now. I'm living on my own, just come out of prison. I'm training with a professional club. I'm in this environment and it's like, raw, I felt so at home. This is me, like, this is who I am. I play football, I'm good at it. Like, none of this acting to be bad or wanting to be bad or all of this sort of stuff. I'm like, this is my life now. This is what I want to do. I was there, still going probation. I remember, you know, like they do probation every 4 weeks at that time when you first come out. I was straight put on 6 months because I had this sort of network and I had done the show and I was projected to not be at risk anymore. Yeah, which I wasn't. I was living at Wickham. I was there for like half a season. Yeah. They let me train with them. Got into fitness, had to get fit. I got a few injuries on the way, like while I was there, that sort of hindered my chances there. I remember they were going for a relegation battle at the time. They're getting relegated, and I remember the manager was Gary Woodett at the time, and he was like, "Wrong time. It's the wrong time for us." Sort of things, so it wasn't going to work out. So they never offered me a contract. I was gutted. Again, this is like that rejection again. But now I'm of a certain age, I can deal with it. And then I remember that's when I first found out about non-league. I didn't even know about non-league. Yeah. And one of the managers recommended me to go to a club called Hayes and Yedden. Yeah. So I've gone to the club, doing pre-season with them. And I said to him, I can't come tomorrow, I've got probation. After that, that was it. I was gone. The next week, I was gone. I was gone. That, and which was a shame because it would have been a good chance at that time. I was 21 then, and I was above that level, but I would have proved it by playing it. Yeah. And they really liked me until I said that. And what I used to face back then is because I was quite big and I was from the ends, black guy. Like if you don't know me, people think like I'm not the person who I actually am. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? So when you don't know me, I've got a straight face, I'm just chilling or whatnot. People just assume with the journey as well, because I've been in prison, that I'm this aggressive guy until you speak to me. Do you know what I'm saying? And then what you have in that industry is you have a lot of managers that don't come from this culture. Yeah. So when they see it or hear of a black guy comes from prison, it's like, whoa, like we can't control this guy. Even though I haven't shown that, they just straight away, as soon as he heard it, was like, don't want you, not interested. So left there, went to Histon, met with another sort of similar situation. And did it. So basically football wasn't working out for me. Yeah. It wasn't working out for me. So I had to try something different. I didn't want to go back to the road. I knew I didn't want to do that. So what I'd done is I got a few friends that are around me, got me a job in a warehouse. It's my first ever job, salary. And what that done a lot for me as a person. Like it taught me a lot. It gave me structure, it gave me routine. And it helped me manage money. So like where you shotting, you just got loads of disposable income. It's in, it's out, you're just acting up basically. So when I started working this job, it taught me a lot. I had a manager. It was a black guy called Michael, he's passed away now. He taught me a lot about being on time, being responsible, getting your work done. I always feel like I had that work ethic anyway, but in this environment, do you know what I'm saying? It was a good experience for me. And then from there, I went on to become an IT technician, which I managed to get just because of that. The other manager liked me. All bare people got in uni for them things. Yeah. So they got me in at entry level. And I started doing that. I had my own van. I started doing it. But all this time, I'm still playing football. I'm playing semi-professional football. I'm playing in a lot of leagues. And waiting for my chance, hoping that, you know, one day I'm going to get to where I wanted to get to. And so I've done that for a few years. changed job. I went to become a gas engineer.
Yeah.
I had my son at the time. So when my son was coming, I was like, I need something more. I want to earn more money, basically. And while I'm still playing football. So I become a gas engineer, which wasn't easy. It was a good job, started on some good money. But I was, like I said, I was still playing football, and then bam, it all kicked off. Signed my first contract. This was still as a semi-pro, but I got good money.
Yeah.
And I started to earn sort of a salary.
Who was the club at the time?
That was a club called Hackney and Waterlooville.
Okay, yeah.
So I was playing for a team called Maidenhead, who I'm currently at now. But they weren't paying me what Havant was paying me.
Yeah.
And then, because they were like, Havant was like a bigger team in the league, bigger budget sort of thing. Went to Havant, got an injury there, which was a shame. I signed a 2-year deal. Didn't really work out the way I wanted it to. I seemed to keep getting this sort of luck with football. And come back from injury, started, I went to a team called Staines and dropped to the league below. Played there, got fit, and then boom, Maidenhead signed me. They just got promoted to the National League, which they're still in now. And that was my first entry into professional football. Yeah. And which was good. You know, playing with your name on the back of shirt. It was a sense of accomplishment. Yeah. Because as a boy, like I said, it's all I ever wanted to do. It's all I saw myself doing. And then I had a strange relationship with football because I didn't get to where I could have got to. I still loved it, but I had you know that sort of disappointment in my chest, like not playing where I should be. And a lot of boys struggle with that now. I still see it now. Like when you're young, you're projected to be here. And like we was talking off camera about boys that are in academies and they get released and then that's it, they're gone. I was one of them kids. Do you get what I'm saying? So I know what that journey's like. I see it with people now. They feel like they should be playing higher than they are. And I always say to them now, like, bro, yes, you're playing football. You're professional. You're getting paid. You're earning a decent living. It's your one job. Do you get what I'm saying? And like, a lot of boys associate making it as a footballer, Premier League, Championship. I got to be a millionaire and all these sort of things. So I always say to them, like, give thanks for what you got, man. Like, your journey was different to someone else's. I've seen boys that I'll tell you this, it's never the best players that go all the way. Yeah. It's never. It's very rarely the best players go all the way. And the reason why that is because hard work beats talent. And it's a cliche saying, but hard work beats talent. Some boys want it more, want it way more. And when you're so good and you rely on talent only, you're not going to be in the game for long.
How long was you at Maidenhead for?
2 years at Maidenhead. Then I moved and I started doing the rounds in basically the National League. I had a couple other clubs, Bromley, Dagenham and Redbridge, which was like a local club. Like as a Hackney man club basically, or I say Mandem club. Went to Dagenham. It ain't so much now, but that's what when it first come about, that's what it was. So I think your brother was your brother. Yeah. See, and like, a lot of men from East London, South London, I'd been to Dagenham. This is one of the London clubs, isn't it? And I've done the rounds. I'm back at Maidenhead now. Oh, Bournemouth, been at Bournemouth as well.
Bournemouth is where you had that big highlight, man.
The
FA Cup goal. I mean, how was that like? That's crazy.
Yeah, mental. Bournemouth was last year. That was an unbelievable time. Probably my best. Not probably. It is the best time in football for me. I think. Yeah, getting called up to a national team, which I play for Montserrat now as well. Playing in the. We ain't quite made it to the Gold Cup, but we played in the CONCACAF Nations League. That's a great experience as well. I think the FA Cup was a madness because it was crazy. Scored against Wimbledon in the third round. It was quite a good finish, to be fair. Played against Bournemouth, who are now in the Premier League. They was top of the Championship at the time. And played them at their place. Played them and beat them convincingly. Well, not convincingly, but we beat them 1-0 at their place. And then we got that dream tie in the 5th round against Everton. So
I remember that game, watching it. And I just, they put you on was it the last minute or something? They can't see the fairy tale story to put mine on. How disappointed was you?
Do you know what? I was extremely disappointed. But then again, we go back to what I said earlier about you got to be like gratitude. Like, okay, I've got here. I wanted it to be more, but I've got here.
Yeah,
so it's about focusing on the positives rather than the negatives. And like, that's another thing I'd advise people, like, focus on the positive about the situation. Because if you stay in that negative bag, then it's just going to have a negative outcome. Because why throw away the, everything I've achieved? Because this was like a pinnacle for me. This was that, I made it, basically. That's how I felt. I've done it. I played against the Premier League team, played on the big stage and whatnot, on TV, all that sort of stuff. And I was focused on that. Because I was disappointed. To say I wasn't would be a lie. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I've done it, though. I played. No one can take that away from you.
No, for real. And since then now, is that you're back playing now. You're at Hampton and Richmond. So you scored a banger the other day. Yeah. I mean, how is it just still playing football? How long do you think you've got in the game? And what are plans for the future?
Do you know what? Playing football, yeah, it's a dream. It's a dream. Being able to play football for a living is a dream that most boys have. Being able to say I've done it and is brilliant. It's brilliant. It's great. It's sort of like, it's another part that it's helped me overcome a lot of my trauma as well that I had went through, and it's definitely made me a better person. I'm on loan at Hampton and Richmond now. I haven't left Maidenhead. I just went to get some games because I'm older now, so I wasn't really playing as much. And I love football. I want to play, so I had to go there and start playing. Scored the other day. Nothing. There's no better feeling than scoring a goal. No better feeling. In terms of how long do I think I have left? Mentally, you're like, oh, mate, I can play for another 10 years. Play for another 10 years. But physically, it's not the same thing. I think I've still got a good few years left in me. Probably might have to drop a level where, won't be picking up them sort of full-time wages anymore, unless you're lucky, because there is clubs that do that. Yeah.
Not Hackney Wick, unfortunately.
Soon, you never know. Hackney Wick could be in 10, 20 years. The way the trajectory and what's going on now, it could get there, bro. I'm sure that's your ambition. Do you know what I mean? Definitely. And I think, I wouldn't say I have long. I'd say 3 good years.
And what's your kind of plans besides football?
Yeah, plans after. So I've set up a company similar to yourself called Left Step, Right Step, about helping young people, helping young adults get into employment, get them upskilled, and literally about getting them opportunities and about providing a space for them to come to and upskill and do loads of stuff. So we offer things like therapy. What we do is we do very individual based. We do group sessions and we do one-to-ones. The group sessions are more about confidence building. Confidence building. We're using football, not just football, but we're using football as a way to connect with the youth, to bring them in. But away from football, we want to deal with everybody: young men, young women. We're doing 16 to 24 at the moment, and that's growing. That's growing. So if people have a look at it, Left Step, Right Step on Instagram. Left Step, Right Step.org .org.uk on the website. Have a look, see if that interests you. Welcome. Everyone's welcome to come down. Because we understand how important it is to have a mentor. But do you know what I'm saying? You need a mentor. These young people need a mentor. Mine was Ian Wright. I was extremely lucky to have someone like Ian Wright that I looked up to, that believed in me and saw my potential. And there's a lot of kids out there that just need a mentor. There's loads. It's so important because of my business partner, Jay Simpson. He got we was in the same Arsenal team. He got a mentor in around 14. And 14, for a young man, 14, 13, that year 8 to year 9 is when it starts to get techie. And he had a mentor, whereas I didn't. And he says to me that was a big difference for him. And he ended up going and playing for Arsenal. First man scored a hat-trick at the Emirates, in the Emirates Cup. You know what I'm saying? Mad accolades, promotions to the Premier League and stuff. And whereas my trajectory was the left step. His was the right step. So we understand how important it is to have people that with lived experience And I see that's like a new thing now, which is a good thing. Lived experience, you know, guiding these youth, because it never. I remember I had a mentor, but he wasn't like me.
Yeah.
And I speak to him now, and he asks me, what was it like? I never felt I could connect with you, and I never felt like you was in that sort of thing. And I said to him, I was like, because I'm an honest person, and I said, I never really rated you like that.
Yeah.
Like I was gang. Like you was this soft man in a suit. Like I was bigger than you as well. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I never respected you because you know I was on violence. I was angry. You was on this calm vibe. Like you weren't from London. We weren't from the street. So naturally, I couldn't connect with you like that, which is very unfortunate because you do need people like him. But for the person I was, that didn't work for me. So I think, you know, like this lived experience of people like ourselves dealing with these young individuals, because we've gone through what they've gone through, and we're on the other side of that now. You know, we've gone and achieved amazing things in our lives and our careers. I think we're the best placed people for these guys, and to work with other people that want to be in this industry as well and help these youths. We're the best placed people for it. So, yeah.
No, man. That was actually an amazing interview. You've gone through your story, and I hope a lot of young people, a lot of young footballers who are in academies get to watch this to understand what it takes to kind of make it, but also how right foot, left foot can take you two different directions, man. Thank you very much, man.
Left step, right step.
Left step, right step.
Yeah, you got to move that all the way back. Do that again. I know you can edit that.
We edit that. But yeah, but honestly, right, amazing journey, right, doing amazing things. And guys, all the link for everything that Clifton's doing is all. I still call you Clifton like we're in jail.
Yeah, no, but you know what? Everyone calls me Clifton. Everyone. Yeah. No one calls me Adrian. Everyone calls me Cliff. Yeah. Like people that say I like meet someone, or say like for a girl, for example, and I told her my name's Adrian, and then she had everyone call me Cliff. She's like, you lied to me about your name. I'm like, no, I didn't. Like those days are done. Yeah. Like, I'm not that age anymore. Like Cliff is my surname. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's just how it is. To be honest, when someone calls me Adrian, it's like, huh? Like Cliff's like my nickname, innit? Yeah. So I'm cool with that.
Nah, man, big up. But like I said, everything, a description will all be in the bio, so you guys can go and find out about him, find out about his network, his website, and so on. And yeah, that was another big ego interview.
Don't turn off. I just wanted to say, I wanted to give you your flowers.
Oh, I appreciate it.
I wanted to give you your flowers and big you up. Thanks for inviting me. The work you're doing is amazing. I sit back and I watch and I'm just like, wow, yeah, Bobby's doing his thing. I sat in a prison with you to see your growth has inspired me. You get what I'm saying? You're a lot of years into what you're doing. I'm just starting, but you're definitely someone I look at to be like, yeah, I need to get to where Bobby's at. And yeah, I just want to give you your flowers, man. And you know, I've spoken to you about it before, and you're like, whatever you need, I help you. Do you know what I mean? We need more people like that leading our community. So yeah, big up yourself.
I appreciate it, man. Love, bro.
Nice one.
That's Big Ego Media.